Good fences make good neighbors. I remember watching some election night runoffs, polls, it's up in Delaware with some of Cindy's family. And good people, for sure. And I was getting kind of late, and the elections were they weren't really in. It was some midterm. It was something. It was midterm something. I can't remember what it was. And I said, "All right, gang, I'm hitting. I'm going upstairs. I'm gonna try a little MSNBC and call it." And I remember the woman looking at me, some of Cindy's kinfolk, and she said to me, "You realize that's our station, don't you?" Something to that effect. I believe that's pretty close. She was infer, intimating. Intimating? Yes. She was intimating that MSNBC belonged to her clan. That would be the Democratic Party. Okay, leave it there. And she knew I was a small businessman, and she also was a small business. Excuse me, we have both been small business persons. Excuse me, in our day. So beyond that, you could say it would be fair to say that I would lean more towards a conservative viewpoint on things. Maybe that's because I grew up with my mom, who we never needed garbage bags or garbage size or newspapers. Okay? Maybe that has something to do with it, don't know. My attitude. Wanton, spending with wanton abandon, that doesn't work for me, yeah. I lean more towards, obviously, save for the rainy day. There. I guess I can put it in a, single thought. Sort of. You know what I'm trying to say. Shut up. Because I'm trying to tiptoe the line here myself. I'm walking down the middle of the line. Come on, somebody give me something for it. And I remember turning to her and I said, how am I going to get the picture from all sides if I don't listen to all sides? I mean, and for me, it was just a matter of fact thingy. I didn't think I was trying to be, my normal profound self. I was just being tired at 11:30 or so at night and wanted to go upstairs and, I wanted to catch, I want to catch the other side's viewpoint for not it out. And I guess that's what I'm getting at when I say to y'all, because I'm older and I've seen it go round in circles. I've seen things go round in circles. And I can't reinforce enough to you that when you're dealing with the public sector, that is government, and I've served both. I did 10 years in the Department of Labor. So I have a really good understanding of the workings of the minds of the people in there, because that kind of stuff don't change. The attitudes, they just don't change. Certainly not overnight or in 10 years or 20 years since I've been gone, whatever. Trying to toe the line here. I try to be transparent. I try to be fair. I try to see everybody's viewpoint, because everybody's viewpoint matters. I mean, mine might matter a little bit more than y'all's, but that's because it's mine. It's like my flatulence smells pleasant to me, whereas it doesn't to you. But I wonder if you thought it was your flatulence, if you would think it, they should set up I'll bet you they already have, because we men are sick. We've set up some kind of college ass experiment somewhere with farts in a jar. And, they tell the person it's your fart or it's not your fart, and you have to recognize your fart. Did you know there are jobs, there are people that are fart sniffers? And they can, by smelling your farts, tell if there's something wrong with you. Yeah, I know, right? Wild. Yeah, that's a side shot. Sorry. But at least I know where I'm at this time. I'm staying close to the tippy toe line. I need you to walk the straight line. I'm like, forget it, dude. Just cuff me. Come on. We both know it. I just blew a 1-8. Fucking cuff me. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Just stop it. Stop it. Just stop it. Yeah, towing that line. There we were, Greensboro, North Carolina. I needed some pimples. I told you I was going to tell you about the pimples. Pimples. And I couldn't keep it. I think I hinted it in the last track I laid down. Pimples. If you Pipple apostrophe S. Pimples. As if it would belong, as if you showing ownership to Pipple. Pipple. For People's Drug. Yeah, they still had them pretty recently in different parts of the country. Yeah. And I needed some pimples, nasal spray. Like when the doctor looks up my nose, they always just they don't even say anything. But I can read they're like, oh my. And of course, the nasal spray contributes to my high blood pressure. Oh, towing the line, dragging a line. Little Tommy James, Shondells. Dragging a line. You should YouTube that. I don't care how old you are. Tommy James and the Shondells dragging a line. I don't care if you're 20 or 60. The song's gonna jam. Promise. Do it. It's one of those timeless songs. It just rolls. It's dirty. It's gritty. It's gritty. You'll like it. Trust me. Okay. So I needed pimples. Man, I was congested. All down. Well, like unfamiliar around Greenboro, North Carolina, from Maryland, say-ish, something like that. Going down, I was on business. Okay. Figure why not take the wife? We can double duty, double whatever, double purpose our trip. And I remember going over the proverbial railroad tracks. We drove over railroad tracks. Oh, she'll attest to this. I don't know how much I have to pay her, but if you called me out on the mat, but, to buy her testimony. Yeah, but I only got 6 months of alimony to go, so I'm pretty stoked about that. I'm thinking on the last 6 memos, I'm going to be like, for this month, I'm going to be like, T-6. And then next month, I'll be like, T-5 and counting. Hey! Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. We went over those railroad tracks. I went into Piggly Wiggly. Have you ever heard the expression, a snowflake on asphalt? Well, that was this boy. In 2 miles, 3 miles, I'd gone from a Greensboro city corporate limits proper, rather nice mix of everybody everywhere, white, black, blah, blah, a lot of business down in there. Looking like a progressive city like any other. American city where we have this lovely mix. It's our strength, and yet we treat it like our weakness. Our racial diversity is our strength. But, okay, never mind. Because if I can't outbox that guy, I know my black brother can take his ass down. Put him in there for the gold medal. You see what I'm saying? It's like that. Let's use our diversity. Okay? Golly gee, it's not that hard. No, we don't use our diversity to our advantage. No, do we? We use our diversity to make more fences, to make good neighbors. Yeah, we do. I looked around that Piggly Wiggly trying to buy some nasal Snapper or something. And I mean, Mom, it's just me. And this is what, 1990 something or other? 1990 something or other, I want to say. What the hell is that? That's segregation. And I'll bet you dollars to donuts, to a large extent, it's probably like that right now. Good fences make good neighbors. Yeah, it was a surprise birthday party for a dear friend of mine I've known for many a year. I mean, it was the proverbial, lights on, happy birthday, a bunch of people, I haven't been on a lot of those in my life, so I kind of jumped at the chance because I'm always up for new experiences. Other than, say, maybe, I don't know, bungee jumping without a bungee cord. I don't think I would be up for that experience. But I'm always up for new terrors. I am always up for new terrors. Yeah, I had claustrophobia as a child, and so I made myself get into this box that I could find to where I could barely move. I couldn't move. And I remember sweating. I was a kid. And I remember standing in that box until it was like, oh, I'm in a box, so what? And I crawled out of the box. Ta-da! Look at that. I fought my way through a problem. I addressed a problem head on. So yeah, I'm always up for new experiences. And if there's the potential for fireworks, you can't keep me away. Yep. Lights go on. Surprise! Happy birthday! Good man, too. This man is a good man. I've been blessed to know so many good men in my life. Yep, there I sat, toeing the line. The dining room table. I sat at one end of it. Family members from both sides kind of sat on it. And I'm just sitting there and I can feel it. I'm good at that. Feeling things. In my mind. Maybe. They're not real, but I'm feeling them. I am feeling them. Okay? Whether they're real or not. Okay? And his brood was all in the living room. And her brood was all in the kitchen. With like this mishmash at the table. Yeah. Good fences make good neighbors. And this fence was coming between a husband and a wife. And I remember looking, since I knew my friend and his family and his angelic mother, I might add, Randy, you're stupid. And I love you. And I remember the mom saying to me, John, come sit with us. Now, I had already, or have not yet, momentarily got up from the table. And because I knew everybody on my left, I was satisfied. I felt comfortable with them. Not so with the people on my right. And I wanted to find out where it was coming from. So I got it from the table, and I looked for an excuse. At the moment, I found an excuse to barge in on them, and a guy pulled out a can of dip. I dipped Skull, and I was like, there's my entrance. He was dipping Kodiak or something, whatever. I said, hey man, let me get a little pinch off you. He's like, sure. And I put myself I'm right in the middle of the huddle. Because I'm trying to feel where the knife is at, because I can feel it. But there's like 4 or 5 of them in this group of her brood. And so I can't really pull out where the point of origin is. I'm not sure there was one. It was among them, the entire group. But I used that to get close to feel it out, to see where the knives were in the room. And I made sure I took a big wad out of his can to where he looked at me. And I looked back at him and I shoved that in my cheek and walked away. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Kodiak because I was buzzing later. Oh my God. Just to be a dick, I took out an extra large because I could feel it, man, in the room. And this boy wasn't happy. The bear was not happy. Went back, sat down in my chair on the San Andreas Fault, the dividing line. That's what I remember from that night. In the words of Rush, progressive rock band, some of their lyrics go, if you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. So, procrastination, apathy, lack of interest, lack of belief, lack of concern. You walk through your life. You walk through your life and you've done pretty well for yourself. There were no initial setbacks to give you a lesson, even playing field. You're not blind. You're not Down syndrome. You're not this or that or whatever. You got a pretty good level playing field start chance, and you've made a pretty good life for yourself. And the religiosity has been thrown in your face. And the flip side, no God of any kind, under any pretense. And perhaps you've kind of adhered to that most of your life. You've been the proverbial island. You've been able to take care of stuff and get things done. You got a few grand in your bank account and all your bills are paid. You're doing all right. And so you never make a choice because you don't see that there's one to be made. In your biological brain, you don't see that there's a choice that you have to make. You're doing just fine on your own or with a significant other. There's no need for anything else. But I'll bet you right now, if you look back over your life after listening to this track, and you take a moment, an evening, to meditate and think back over your life, I will probably bet you good money and give odds that you will start to account for circumstances and events that have happened in your life that you cannot explain. Peace.